Hello and welcome back. This is the hollowing phase. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Hope hollowing system, but first I'm going to bore out as much as I can with Forster bits. Reason why is with the hollowing system it's very hard to do the centre of the axis, so it's best to bore it out as much as you can and then use the hollowing system from there. The speed, even if you can get it, even if it is stable, you're hollowing something out that's stable, you still don't want the speed too high with a Forster bit. The speed that I'm going to be spinning it now is about 400. If it's stable, with the Forster bit, the speed that you should be looking at is about 700 to 800, somewhere around there maximum. Inspect it. There's a hell of a lot of rot in there, loads of it. So I'm going to get the Hope system, bore out that deep, and then you'll get the idea effectively. And what I'll do is I'll bore out most of the way down, and then I'll get the camera system hooked up, and then I'll come back to you then. Right, the way I've got it set up, I've got the kicker plate set so the pivot point is off the edge. I still like to keep the tailstock on, for the simple reason once that's on you can't get the tailstock on. And then when I get so far, I straighten it up and then bore out a little bit more, then I bore out a little bit more. And it's a pain in the backside to keep on taking the kicker plate off. So I put this on as far to the back as I can, leaving the tailstock on, and I also twist the headstock so this is off the side, because it's a lot easier to stand and bore like this than if it's level and then you're trying to get over the bed a little bit so you can see. I know you have the camera system or the laser so you don't have to get over there, but it's good to have the arm as close to your side as possible so you're not stretching out with your hands. So I'll get the camera back over here. I'll zoom in a little bit. I've got it on reverse, so so it spins in reverse, and I'm pushing away from it because I find that's myself it's a lot easier to get it on the hip and push away from you than what it is to, because effectively both hands are pushing in the same direction. Whereas if you're spinning the normal way, you tend to be pivoting. You pull with your left and you push with the right, and it just feels more comfortable for me, and also it's a lot easier when you get an undercut like that to standing this way and doing it that way rather than leaning over the bed. So I'll turn it back on. I've gone in a little bit just to test it. You get the tip at about 45 degrees down and 45 degrees that way, and it slices as opposed to, it cuts as opposed to scrapes. This tip also isn't new. It's quite an old tip, and what I've done is I've rotated it a little bit more. It's a star bit. You can just undo it and just rotate the cutter on the bar a little bit so you get a sharp edge. I know you can't see the side that I'm chipping, but you'll be able to see the process on the other side. It's important to go slow to start off with, because about a third of it or a quarter of it is turning here. You don't want to get that jacking over and the edge hit the bar. You want the cutter to be cutting, not the bar. So you just take it slow until you've established, until you've got past that here, you turn your wood again. You can see there just a few passes, I'm going quite a way in already. Right, I'm about to the point where I'm not going to be turning here anymore. But if I keep on going now like that, down to the bottom of that bore that I did with the forcing a bit, it's only about 15mm to go, and then I'll set up the camera. Important thing to do, just realised I haven't got it set up right. I need to raise the tool rest a little bit. Even though you turn the cutter downwards so it's sloping down, you need to raise the tail lift up, tool rest up, so the actual cutter head is riding at the centre axis. It's not too high or not too low. If it's too high, it'll cut stronger. Too low, it'll just be rubbing, burnishing. Important to keep cleaning it out. I mean, okay, it falls out the side for me, but I'll get to the point where it won't fall out no more. You keep on to clean it out so you can see where you're going. And also when you get build up, it interrupts the cutter, and the cutter ends up skating on the chippings. can see some voids on the inside of there. Oh, it's all rot. All this lot here, this bark, all this lot here, this real soft fur, is also all the way through, and I've got some big voids on the inside of there, and that's why it's juddering a little bit. I'm glad I've got this bar and doing it with this than trying to do it with a bowl gouge or a handheld hollowing tool. But yeah, I've gone in quite a way there, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the camera. I'm going to show you how I can get it even, because that's just still going straight in at the moment, but just wider than the Forster would give me. I'm actually pushing that all the way through with my finger back out through this void, so that's hollow all the way through there. So I'm going to set up the camera system and then show you that. Right, and I have the camera charging as I'm recording. Right, now I can get both hands on it. Hopefully you can see that. This isn't a very good demo, granted. What I'll do is I'll stop that, get a little bit of tissue paper, put a bit of tissue underneath there so it's easier to see. So I've organised before I hit record A. Speed it up slightly. Too much. Right, here's where it's been jumping about quite a bit. I've also got air here, but all that brown just inside there is all fur, the same as what I picked out of here. In fact, you can see, you can. I'll get a thingy, screwdriver. You can actually see it. Very awkward to turn, so it's hard soft as it's rotating. So I think I'm going to have that all the way through this. You can see there, you can see a light through there where some of that fur's come out. Some of this evil stuff. So I'm going to carry on hollowing, and when I get to about halfway down, hopefully it'll stabilise a little bit as I go further along. Right, it's a new day. I've been getting on with it. I've had to go quite a bit further down than what I thought I had to do. I've just about got to a position now, you can still see the bit of brown, bit of fur at the bottom. I've just about got to the point now where it's fairly stable. There's still a hell of a lot of this fur down at the bottom, but what I did was I went a little bit mad and I got a teardrop. That's the good thing with the Hope, it comes from an adapter, one of these. So because the bar that comes with the Hope hollowing system I think is about 19mm, but this one that I already had was a lot less. Was a little bit less. So it comes with an adapter that you can stick in. Yeah, I'll show you. It's got two holes in it where the grub screws go through. You just slide that in, and you just slide your other bar into that. So I went in with that a little bit strong, just to chip out the majority of the crap. And I've now got to approximately, if I show you on the screen, get the thing back in. So this is well organised, this isn't it? I've got down to about, see those two black dots? About there. So what I'll do is, it's pointless me sticking the camera towards that to show you the hollowing, because you're not going to see nothing. So what I'll do is, I'll set up the camera, set up this camera pointing at the screen. You can see how I'm going along then. What I'm doing is I'm mostly looking at the screen. I'll do about 3 or 4 lines from the centre to the outside, then I'll stop, hoover out, and then carry on. So here we go. The speed is about 430. So what I do is I go along until I can hear something. It's about there. Then I pull back. Right, it's about there. And what I do is, you can hear it cutting. You can definitely feel it. What I like to do is go along to the edge and then pull back a little bit along the edge to get rid of any small ridges or fairly big ridges. You get the idea because you can see bands as well going along with the rotation of the Hollowform. So what you can do is you can gauge the dots as well to see how far you originally started off from. You can get an idea. So it's approximately there. Pull the bar out and then get the hoover and hoover it all out. I'll see if I can. And then you can see, you should be able to hear, there's a massive amount of wood in there. This is a fantastic system. Right, start again. The lens that comes with this kit is like a slight fisheye, so it's a little bit deceptive. that looks like I've got a massive amount of space to go, but all it is, I've only moved about an inch on the vase. It's only about an inch deep, something like that, an inch, inch and a half. So now what I want to do is, that's as far as I want to go down. What you do is you put a few lines on the vase, so you can see that's the first line is, well, the midline is ideally where I want to stop, and the other two lines, where are they? That is the absolute minimum. I do not want to go below that one, and then that one, that top one is like a warning, you're getting close to it, because those lines are only about 5mm apart. So that is, see what I mean? When I was chipping away, I've gone a little bit further. You always go a little bit further. Not always, but quite a few times you always go a little bit further than what you actually want. That's why I put that first line there, that first one, so I'm actually halfway. I can get that. That is where it's soft. Now that I can't push it in much more, so that's ideal. So now what I want to do is, because it's only about an inch and a half, I want to start putting a curve round to that middle line. Otherwise you'll end up going all the way down, having a flat bottom, then having an absolute nightmare down at the bottom, trying to smooth out a sharp transition. So now I'm going to try to start to curve that. Put it out a little bit, then start it. Right, that's the inside now, and unfortunately I think what I've got to do is I've got to put a base on the bottom of this, because that right down in the middle is very soft, right down at the bottom of the bowl, very soft and it's rot. So what I'm going to have to do is, when this is fully dried, there's a hell of a lot of ridges on the inside as well, which is expected because it's been jumping about quite a bit. It's only a 6mm cutter, so I'm going to go with that teardrop with this one. I'm going to turn that round so I've got the half round end. So I've got this sticking that way. So I'm going to turn it round. I'm going to go with that half round all the way along the outside, the inside, to clear off all the ridges. And then what I'm going to have to do is, when it's dry, that's rot through the tanner, it's rot in the centre to about there, so I think what I'm going to have to do is, that centre line will be a little bit safer. That line there, I'm going to part it off from about there towards the centre. Sand it all down, make it as flat as I can possibly do it, and then glue another piece onto the bottom. Then the other piece then will be the base, and then I can probably, yeah, once it's all glued up, it's all perfect, I can go around and finish on the inside, but that's going to be sometime next year, so that's too big to fit in the microwave. So that's it, done. For now, I'll smooth it all out, and then what I'll do is I'll wrap it all up, and then show you a picture at the end when it's all wrapped up. And that's it. That's the vase. Or Hollowform. The idea of this is the shrink wrap stops the or reduces by a hell of a lot. Marshall will probably still get between the seams. Reduces the evaporation to the outside, or the evaporation goes to the inside and out the top. The reason for that is so it contracts on itself as opposed to expands. I've put these shrink wrap, these tie wraps, these cable ties around as well to help it stopping expanding. Help it to stop expanding, which could cause splits. I think there's enough relief anyway in various parts of it to stop it from splitting, but might get something on the back. It's what I've done with other stuff as well, like this one that I've done, and the other one that's now buried under a load of crap. That one back there. I've got a load of bowls and whatnot behind there. You can just about see the shrink wrap here. A load at the back drying out, and none of those have split so far, so it seems to be doing the job. But I hope this helps. Hopefully that helps you. I know I'm not professional. Professionals have probably been laughing at me if they've been watching this video, but hopefully it'll help you and make you realise that it's not as scary as what you think to turn something with limbs sticking off it and something so big, as long as you keep the speed down. I mean, when you've got something unstable, you can't help but have a slow speed anyway. If you've got something that's obviously bolted to the floor and it's not going to shake as much as mine, you still don't really want to ramp it up to about 500, 600 plus, or 700, 800 plus. Keep it slow, start off, and then think, right, it can speed up a little bit, you know what I mean, rather than start too fast and then be a little bit overwhelmed with it. You don't have to start off obviously with something so big. Start off with something just a little bit unstable, a little bit of greenwood, if you've never turned it before, just to see the wobble and the chippings coming off. If you're always working on blanks that are all perfectly round and perfectly smooth at the front and the back, it's going to be stable. You're not going to. And then if you do get a blank that's harder on one side than the other, so a little bit punky and it's a little bit wobbly, you might struggle with it. So if you do a little bit of work that's unstable, bit of work that's stable, you know what I mean, you get used to it, and that's how you get the experience doing it. I'm not saying I've got perfect experience. There's still a few things like smoothing out the ridges on the inside. That's a pain in the backside. I'm not sure how to do that yet, so if anyone can advise me how to do that or show me any videos, thanks a lot. Because I can tell when this is dry that when it comes to smoothing out the inside, I'm going to struggle with it. But happy turnings. I hope you've had a good Christmas. I hope you have a fantastic year, and I hope 2017 is a lot better for the world than what 2016 and previous years have been. So that's it. That's me. Adios.